As you're filling out your pedigree chart, you begin with yourself, and it's probably pretty easy to get your parents, and you probably know your grandparents. But as you get into your great-grandparents, this column over here on the right, the fourth generation, you discover that you may not know some of those dates. You may not be familiar with them. And let's use this example, and we'll show you an example of actually searching for an ancestor. So I know that I've got a William Henry Taylor, who was my great-grandparent. He was approximately born in Salt Lake City, approximately the end of the 1800s, between 1885 and 1890. If we go to the website hisfamilysearch.org, we could begin to do a search, and let's look for William Taylor. We know he was born in Salt Lake City, Utah, and we're going to say 1885. He was probably died in somewhere around 1960, and we'll do a quick search, and we discover that there's a number of William Taylors. 1905. Here's one in 1885 that's possible. His parents were Stephen W. Taylor, Mary E. Taylor. If we click on him, we see a number of ancestors here. Maybe you don't recognize those and you're not sure if that's the right one. So we come back to our search and we just scroll down to the bottom. You see that the source of this information is from the 1910 census. This icon here says that it actually shows the page from the 1900 census that these records were taken from. Here is one here, a William Henry Taylor, December of 1888, Salt Lake City, parents of James H. and Sarah Taylor. Certainly there's a candidate there. We can continue to look down and we go into some family trees. The family trees will begin to give us some information about the siblings and the parents. So let's go ahead and we'll click on those results to see if we can narrow it down just a little bit more. So we're looking for a William Taylor, and approximately in the late 1800s. So we'll just scroll through this list really fast, going down, and there's one in 1883. This one's in Provo, Utah. We know that he was in Salt Lake City, so we'll keep scrolling. 1862, we think he was a little later than that. So we'll continue to go down. Let's click over here onto the next page. As we scroll down, we find one candidate, William Franklin Taylor, 1886. He was in Fremont. We know that's not right. Here's a Leonard William Taylor in 1882. And if we continue to scroll down, we see a few William Henry Taylors. We know that he was a William Henry Taylor, 1888. That matches approximately. And we discover that we know that the wife was Flora Darling Randall. So we now have the information. At this point, we have information around birth, death, where he was buried. We see the father and the mother, which is a wonderful resource that would allow us to continue the next page through that pedigree chart. We also see the spouse and the marriage date. So we could, at that point in time, go back to our pedigree chart, and using the information found through the ancestral file record at familysearch.org, we could complete the information for William Henry and for his wife, Flora Darling. And we could continue that search for each of our grandparents until we found each of those great-grandparents.